So here we are, April 30th, and I'm just going to show you some stuff that's going on in the garden right now. So we're kind of at the end of our early spring. Soon we're going to, start transitioning to more summer vegetables, but not quite yet. We've had kind of an interesting spring. We had cold spring. It was a bit dry actually. From about 2 weeks ago, we had a hot spell where everything really took off and all the fruit trees started blooming and spring happened overnight pretty much, and then it got cool again. So really been doing a lot of babying in the greenhouse with early starts and just really managing the warm and cold out there. So everything you see in the garden right now, except for the back row, all of these 4 beds, everything is brand new in here because we raised up these raised beds this year. And so all of this green, beautiful growth has happened in the last about 2 months. Okay, so here we are in this really full kind of section of the garden. There were radishes here, but I pulled them because they were a variety that seems to be quite susceptible to this little bug called a pill bug. It's got lots of different names, roly-polies. They are a little crustacean kind of creature, and they like to gnaw on certain plants. They will also really decimate your seedlings, so that's why I start everything first in pots. I do that with everything, even my peas. I start in pots, let them get big, not super big, but pretty big, and then they get transplanted out when they're a little bit better protected from the bugs. Those radishes really were susceptible, whereas some of the other ones don't seem so bad. So here's a good one to show you. Perfect. No bug bites and just looking really glorious. So radishes don't take very long at all. You can seed them throughout the year. You can just keep seeding radishes as places kind of in your garden open up, you harvest something, you can seed radishes in there. And they're really fast growing. They can grow in 40 days. So this bed here we didn't raise up this year. And so this has things that I planted in the fall in the bed now. So these are a beautiful crimson flowered fava bean. And they're really taking off and lush right now. And I just wanted to show you some pest damage here. So as you can see, the leaves are a little bit scalloped. They have little bites on them. So this is caused by something called a pea weevil. And the pea weevil is a little beetle-like thing, and it feeds at night, so you won't really see them in the day. You'll be like, what's going on? And they can really eat your early, especially they like cold kind of soils, and they can eat early peas. They won't kill the plant, and in fact the plant seems to have kind of grown out of it, or the pest is not as bad this time of year. So I would say with everything, when there comes to be a pest, you want to give it some time to see if it's going to totally kill your plant or not. There's so many factors, there's so many other things going on in the ecosystem that will come and balance it out. So if you see a pest, you don't need to think, what do I need to spray or what do I need to kill that, and just give it some time. Allow for the ecosystem to kind of balance. But one thing about these amazing plants, fava beans, is that you can eat the leaves. So before they flower and they start to fill out, you can eat those tops and the leaves, and they'll still keep growing and put on flowers and beans later on. And then also you can eat the flowers. So yeah, and these are so beautiful in a salad. They're epic and they taste really good. They're sweet but kind of taste like beans as well, or peas. So they're a great plant. I love fava beans. I'm growing several different varieties. And they also help to condition your soil to bring in nitrogen as well. Okay, so this little patch was transplanted just a few weeks ago. The lettuce here is called Drunken Woman, and it's got a beautiful little blush on it. This gorgeous kale here is called Mars Landing. It's really delicious. And then there's another red type of kale here. It's not as vigorous. Some kales do better, and brassicas in general will do better in the cooler seasons. So yeah, we do a lot of like winter vegetables, winter brassicas, and certain things don't like the heat. So I would say Mars Landing is a good summer kale. And then these beautiful peas here is a variety that I got from BC Seed Co-op. They have a great variety, great selection of seeds. This one's called Banana Nano Snap. And I'm really excited about that. So that's growing up this cattle panel arch that we have here. And then on the other side, I haven't fully decided yet, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna plant blueberry tomatoes, which are beautiful. I have starts that look awesome. They're really vigorous, so I think those ones will go there, and maybe also trombosino, because you gotta grow one of those. Okay, so this is our awesome cold frame, and it's made with recycled materials. So it just sits on top of our raised bed, and it has 2 sides that you can open up, so both sides open up. And then, yeah, we can just like move it over to where we need different places in the garden. And right now in here, there are potatoes planted in the ground. So it's a red potato. But because they're a little bit slow to come up, I've also put in some more veggie starts. We use the cold frame not just for storage of starts, although that is a good application of it, but we also will put it over top of our freshly planted veggie starts. We're gonna go see where we started the veggies and put the cold frame on. So this was in March, and we had the cold frame on this section. And so all of this in here benefited from that extra protection, extra solar energy in there, more heat. Like, it's never a bad time to start your garden. So if you're worried that you are like too late and you haven't started your seeds, don't worry about it, especially if you have a small space. Just go and buy yourself a few starts. They're not that expensive, and you know, you can always do seeds later on. Starting your seeds early, it's really, there's so many factors, there's so much timing that's involved, where you have to start them inside and let them grow and then pot them up and then worry about the weather. Whereas if it's above 10 degrees at night, you're good to go with pretty much anything.